My girlfriend told her friends I was just her backup plan if her ex didn't work out. I heard every word. I walked up, said, "I'm nobody's backup," and left. She called 5 times that day. While I was already out with someone who actually chose me first, I used to think brunch was harmless. A soft Sunday, a place with mismatched chairs and overpriced eggs, sunlight through dusty windows, the kind of ambience where couples come to pretend everything is fine. My girlfriend, Lena, loved it. She called it her reset ritual. Every other week, she dragged me along with her friend group, the kind of people who treated sarcasm like oxygen and considered vulnerability a pathology. I never fit in with them, and honestly, I stopped trying. But that morning became the line I didn't realize I'd been walking for months. Lena was already inside when I arrived. She texted me 5 minutes earlier, running late. "Babe, just grab a seat somewhere near us." That alone should have been a red flag. Near us, not with us. When I walked in, she was at a corner table with 4 of her friends, the same ones who always made jokes at my expense, pretending it was their love language. They hadn't seen me yet, so I waited a moment at the hostess stand. Not deliberately, just long enough to hear what I was never supposed to. Lena leaned forward, twirling her straw. Her voice was low but sharp enough to cut through the hum of the cafe. "I mean, look," she said. "If my ex gets his shit together, I'm not stupid. But until then, at least I have a backup plan." Her friends gasped, then laughed, that shrill kind of drunk-in-the-morning laughter. One of them whispered something, and Lena giggled harder. "No, seriously," she continued. "He's nice. He's stable. He's safe." A pause. "But he's not my first choice." You know, they all nodded like this was normal, like she hadn't just carved me open and placed me neatly in the just-in-case drawer of her life. My stomach didn't drop. It didn't burn. It didn't collapse. What I felt was colder than anger, just clarity. A calm, perfect, terrifying clarity. I don't know what possessed me to walk over right then. Maybe it was the fact that I'd spent a year loving someone who talked about me like I was a placeholder, a stand-in, a contingency plan. Maybe it was the way her friends kept laughing, as if infidelity and emotional manipulation were some brunch joke. Or maybe I just hit my limit. I approached the table without a word. Lena's smile bloomed automatically when she saw me. That bright, performative, "look how happy we are" smile she used like concealer. But then she registered my expression, and the smile cracked. "Babe, hey," she said quickly. "We were just—" I didn't let her finish. I looked directly at her, not the friends, not the half-empty mimosas, not the facade. "I'm nobody's backup." Her friends went silent. She froze. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. I didn't demand an explanation or validation or anything else. I just turned around and walked out of the cafe. Walked without rushing, without shaking, without a single backward glance. Like a man finally stepping out of a burning building he didn't know he'd been trapped in. My phone buzzed once. Then again. Then again. By the time I reached my car, she had called 8 times. By early afternoon, 35. Calls, texts, voice messages, all variations of shock, denial, bargaining, rage, panic. "You misunderstood. Please just talk to me. It was a joke, a stupid joke. You're overreacting. Pick up. Pick up. We can fix this, please." But I didn't pick up any of them. Because I wasn't home. I wasn't crying into a pillow or pacing my living room or writing a long text she'd never read with sincerity. I was sitting across from someone else, someone I'd met 2 weeks earlier at a bookstore, someone who smiled like she meant it, someone who didn't talk in circles or treat affection like emotional debt. Her name was Marin. She didn't know anything about my breakup, not yet, but she saw the phone vibrating and raised an eyebrow. "You can get that if you need to," she said gently. I put it face down. "I don't," I said, and for the first time in a long time. I meant it. The next morning, my phone looked like a crime scene. 54 missed calls, 22 voicemails, a wall of texts so long it froze my notifications. Lena had gone through all 5 stages of grief overnight, twice. At first, she was apologetic, then indignant, then panicked, then weirdly romantic, then angry again. Typical cycle of someone who thought losing you was impossible. I didn't answer anything. I wasn't avoiding conflict. I just didn't see the point of explaining to someone why I deserved to be seen as a human being, not an insurance policy. But Lena didn't give up. By noon, she switched to messages that felt like bait. "I think we should talk." I owe you a real explanation. Please, just one conversation. You can even break up with me afterward. If you don't talk to me, my friends think you're being dramatic. Oh, there it was. The real reason she wanted closure. Not love. Not regret. Reputation. I didn't respond, but I didn't block her either. I wasn't trying to punish her. I just had nothing to say. That evening, I went out with Marin again. This time to a small pier on the lake where she liked to watch the ferries. She didn't pry, didn't dig, didn't ask. She saw my silence and didn't try to fill it. That alone felt like oxygen. Halfway through our walk, though, I heard footsteps approaching from behind. Quick ones, desperate ones. I turned, and there she was. Lena. Face blotchy. Hair messy. Eyes red. Breathing uneven. She must have tracked my location from an old shared calendar entry or guessed based on my habits. Either way, she'd come looking. Please, she said breathlessly. Just talk to me. Marin immediately stepped aside. She didn't touch me, didn't claim space. She just moved far enough away that Lena couldn't accuse her of anything. I admired that. Lena, meanwhile, stood there trembling like she was the one who'd been betrayed. I didn't mean it, she said quickly, voice splintering. It was brunch talk. You know how they are. I didn't think you'd hear me. That's the problem, I said quietly. You didn't think I'd hear you, but you still said it. She shut her eyes. Tears. Real ones, maybe, or very convincing ones. It was a joke, she insisted. Just a dumb. No, I said. A joke is exaggeration. A joke is play. That wasn't a joke. That was honesty said to the wrong audience. She swallowed hard. Her chin trembled. Can we just reset? Please. We've been good together, haven't we? I didn't answer right away. Not because I was considering it. I just wanted to choose my words carefully, so I wouldn't give her anything she could twist into false hope. You and I were a lot of things, I finally said. But good? Only sometimes. And never in the way that mattered. Her face cracked. You're leaving because of one comment. No, I said. I'm leaving because the comment wasn't an accident. It was a summary. She glanced over at Marin, who was politely looking at the water. Is this because of her? She whispered, bitterness rising. I shook my head. This is because of you. The wind blew harder. The lake darkened. People walked by but pretended not to notice us. Lena wiped her face with shaking hands. I love you, she said. You know that, right? You know that. I didn't respond. Love isn't a spell. It's not a password. It doesn't erase hierarchies people build in their minds. I wasn't angry anymore. Just done. She saw it, that quiet finality, and panic bloomed across her face like a bruise. Please, she whispered, voice breaking entirely. Please don't leave me for nothing. Please don't make me the girl who lost her boyfriend because she ran her mouth. Even now, her priority was impression, not us. You didn't lose me because of what you said, I replied. You lost me because you meant it. Silence. Then her whole posture collapsed. She sobbed, loudly enough that people turned. I didn't flinch. I didn't reach out. I didn't comfort her. You don't comfort someone who's crying because their mask fell off. After a moment, Marin gently walked back toward me and asked softly, Do you want to go? I nodded. We walked away. Lena didn't follow. Her sobbing faded behind us, swallowed by wind and waves and the quiet certainty of something finally ending. Update. For about a week after the pier scene, my life split into two parallel timelines. In one timeline, I was moving forward, slowly, calmly, without theatrics. Work, gym, late-night conversations with Marin, long drives with the windows down. Nothing overly romantic yet, but something genuine settling in the space where chaos used to live. In the other timeline, the one I wasn't participating in, Lena was detonating. She didn't reach out to me again directly. Instead, she reached out to everyone else. Mutual friends, co-workers, my sister, even my landlord. She went on a full-scale reputation reconstruction tour. And the story she told? Not even close to what happened. First version. He left over a misunderstanding. He's coming back once he cools off. Second version. When I didn't come back. He's having a breakdown. He's not thinking clearly. Third version. When people started doubting her. He was emotionally distant for months. I think he met someone else. And then, the masterpiece. I only mention my ex as a hypothetical, but he loves drama. He needs therapy, not dating. Classic. Predictable. Textbook. The kind of narrative someone crafts when the truth is too humiliating to repeat. The problem wasn't that she lied. I expected that. The problem was that people believed her. Even some of my friends, who never liked her arrogance but apparently liked my calmness less. They asked me things like, "Dude, are you sure you didn't overreact? Maybe she just phrased it badly. Come on, bro, nobody actually calls someone their backup plan." Oh, if only brunch tables could talk. I didn't defend myself. Not once. Silence pisses people off more than arguments, and I wasn't interested in performing heartbreak for an audience. But my silence gave her room to expand the fiction, and she used it. The breaking point came on a Thursday night. I was closing up my laptop when my neighbor, Taylor, the one with a bad habit of knowing everyone's business, knocked on my door. "You should know," he said. "Your ex is telling people you cheated." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Seriously? With who?" She didn't say a name, just implied it. "Something about you running off to someone else the same day." Then he added, "People think it's that girl you've been hanging out with." Oh, so we were here now. The irony? Marin and I still weren't even officially dating yet. We were taking it slow, both intentionally and naturally. But it didn't matter. A false narrative travels faster than any truth that isn't seeking attention. The next day, things got worse. My sister called. Her voice was sharp. "I just got coffee with Lena," she said. "She says you humiliated her in public and left with some random girl." I felt a pulse of heat rise behind my eyes. "Sis," I said, "come on. You know me." "I do," she said. "That's why I'm asking." So I explained. Calmly, clearly, without drama. My sister went quiet. Then, "Holy shit. Yeah. She really said that?" She said a lot. I heard something shift in her voice, a protective anger I knew too well. "I'm calling her," she said. "This is bullshit." "No," I interrupted. "Don't. Let it die." My sister exhaled. "Then at least tell me this. Are you okay?" I didn't know how to answer that, but I was definitely better than okay. Just tired, disappointed, a little punched in the sternum by how quickly people choose sides based on the most dramatic version they hear. But okay? Yeah. The turning point came a few days later, though not from my sister, or my friends, or even from me. It came from one of Lena's own friends, Bianca, the only one at brunch who ever treated me like a human being rather than a prop. She messaged me out of the blue. "I heard what really happened. I'm sorry." I stared at the text for a long moment. "How'd you find out the real version?" I finally asked. Her reply came instantly. "Lena told us after two mimosas. She forgot we were there too." I blinked. "Wait." She admitted it. Bianca responded. She said, "Yeah, okay, maybe he heard me. But I was venting. I didn't think he'd be that sensitive." And then she joked that you probably wouldn't leave for good because you're too attached. I leaned back in my chair. There it was. The ugly truth, spoken casually, like nothing. But the real kicker? Bianca's final message. Also, she found out who Marin is. She's spiraling. I stared at that one. Because Lena did not yet know. She didn't know that Marin wasn't just another woman. She didn't know that Marin wasn't a rebound. She didn't know that the girl I'd walked away with that night wasn't random at all. And she definitely didn't know the part that would shatter whatever story she'd been selling. Marin was the opposite of a backup plan. She was someone I'd turned down months earlier because I was committed to Lena, someone I chose to respect, someone who chose me first, someone who didn't hide her feelings behind sarcasm and status games. And now? Now Lena was about to learn exactly who she'd been competing with without ever realizing there was competition at all. Final update. The fallout didn't hit all at once. It came in layers, slow, inevitable, like the tide pulling sand out from under your feet. The moment Bianca told me Lena had learned who Marin was, I knew something was coming. I just didn't know how messy it would get. I found out 2 days later. Late afternoon. Early winter drizzle. I was leaving a cafe with Marin, 2 cups in hand, when I felt my phone vibrate. Not with a call, but with a sudden explosion of notifications. Group chats, DMs, missed calls, screenshots. Something had blown open. My stomach sank, not from fear, but from the exhausted certainty that I already knew who started it. Then I opened the first screenshot, and there it was. A long, dramatic post from Lena on social media. Sometimes people pretend to be the nice guy, but cheat behind your back with girls they've been emotionally involved with for months. Imagine being thrown away like trash for someone who was waiting in the wings the whole time. I guess I was just the idiot who believed his lies. But karma comes for everyone. Oh, so she'd gone nuclear. Public. Vague. Attention baiting. Drenched in martyrdom. And worst of all, not naming me directly, but tagging enough of my friends that it wasn't necessary. Comments were already piling up. OMG, what happened? You deserve better, queen. Men are trash for real. Name him. We'll drag him. I felt something inside me go very still. Marin looked at me. Calm. Concerned. A little sad. Is this about you? I nodded. She didn't ask for details. Didn't demand explanations. She just touched my wrist and said, "Do you need a minute?" It was such a simple, grounding question that something in my chest loosened. No, I said quietly. I'm done giving her my minutes. But I still needed to respond. Not to her, and not to strangers, but to the situation. To myself. For a long time, I believed dignity meant silence. But silence, in the face of someone rewriting reality, just becomes fertilizer for lies. I didn't rage post. I didn't insult her. I didn't vent. I wrote exactly one comment. We broke up because you said, at brunch, with your friends, that I was your backup plan if your ex doesn't work out. I heard every word. You know I did. I didn't cheat on you. Please stop lying to people to save face. I wish you well. But this isn't fair to either of us. Simple. Measured. Undeniable. I screenshotted it because I knew she'd delete it. She did, within 2 minutes. Then she blocked me. Then made another post, even vaguer, dripping with poor me. But by then, the damage she'd hoped to do was dissolving. Because other people, people who'd been at that brunch, who'd heard her tone, who knew her patterns, began chiming in. Not publicly, privately. Messages like, "I'm so sorry, man. We all heard what she said. None of us thought you were wrong to leave." And, yeah, she's been spiraling since then. She's not really being honest about what happened. And the one that hit hardest. She's embarrassed because she thought she could say anything and you'd stay. That's all this is. Validation didn't feel triumphant. It felt quiet, a little sad, like confirmation that something was broken long before I walked away. Meanwhile, Lena escalated again. 2 nights later, she showed up near my apartment. She didn't knock. She just waited by the entrance, trembling, soaked from the rain. When she saw me, she rushed over. "Please," she choked out. "Just please talk to me. I shouldn't have posted anything. I was angry. I was hurt. I was lying." I finished. She winced like I'd hit her. "I was scared," she whispered. "Is that better? Scared you'd move on. Scared I messed up. Scared I wasn't enough for you." She was crying. Hard. I didn't feel cold. I didn't feel superior. I didn't feel anything sharp. Just tired. "Lena," I said gently, "I'm not coming back." She swallowed a sob. "Please don't say that. Please. I love you." I shook my head. "You don't love me. You love having options." And I was one. She closed her eyes in pain. "That's not fair. It's honest." She took a shaky breath. "Can't we just fix things? Just talk? I won't ever joke like that again. I swear. I swear I'll make it up to you." For a moment, I saw what we could have been if she had valued me the way she valued her own image. But that imaginary version was gone. "Lena," I said quietly, "I hope you work on yourself. I hope you heal. I'm not angry at you. But we're done." Her face collapsed. Is it because of her? Her voice was cracking open, desperate. I hesitated, not because I owed her an answer, but because the truth deserved to be said cleanly. "No," I said. "It's because of you." She sobbed, loudly, messily, rain mixing with tears. But something inside me stayed steady, a calm I'd never felt with her. Not relief, not triumph, just a full-circle kind of closure. "I'm going inside now," I said softly. "Please don't wait here again." I walked past her. She didn't follow. The door clicked shut behind me. And just like that, it was over. Not with fireworks, not with vindication, but with a quiet door, a quiet hallway, and a quiet understanding that some endings are simply the right kind. It's been a while now. Marin and I didn't rush. We didn't rebound. We didn't skip chapters. We built something slowly, brick by honest brick. With her, everything feels like choosing, not settling, not compensating, not negotiating my worth. Choosing and being chosen. But even now, even with something healthier forming in my life, I don't pretend the breakup didn't leave marks. Trust takes longer to rebuild than love. Silence feels safer than explanation. And any joke that skirts too close to insecurity still makes my shoulders tense. Growth isn't pretty. It's not cinematic. It's not triumphant. It's slow. It's quiet. It's work. But I'm doing it. And if I'm honest, walking away from someone who saw me as a backup gave me the rarest gift. A chance to stop treating myself that way too. Some endings aren't tragedies. Some endings are beginnings disguised as a brunch table conversation you were never meant to hear.